Happy Monday, 15th day of November, 2021. I am Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We're back, barely, but we're back for another week of local television entertainment, local television information, and local television. Or as we like to say in the business, TV. What a crazy, wild weekend of weather. We had it all. We had dense fog. We had heavy rain. We had sunny temperatures. We had very windy conditions. We set a record high yesterday on Sunday. Not only did we set a new record high, we blew past the old record high. We hit 70 degrees on Sunday afternoon at Payne-Bohr Memorial Airport. 70 degrees. The old record for Sunday the 14th, 61. We just flew by it. And the overnight low was 36. An insane temperature variation. The strong winds came in. Blew things all over the place, some scattered power outages. Before that, of course, we had incredibly dense fog. And then we had some significant rain Saturday night into Sunday. And before that, we had record rainfall on Friday. And guess what? The roller coaster ride continues all day today. We have a wind advisory for the Wenatchee Valley. It begins at 3 o'clock this afternoon, goes until 7 o'clock this evening. An incoming weather system is packing a lot of punch. We had all that wind yesterday. Act 2 is later on today. It's going to be windy all day today, but we could see gusts near 50 miles an hour again this afternoon. We did have one rogue gust at Payne-Bohr Memorial Airport at about 1:30 on Sunday afternoon that got up to 50 miles an hour. All that warm air came in. It was just an insanely active weather day, and we're not done with it yet, and there's going to be some significant snow in the major mountain passes. We could get some light snow. It's crazy. Forecast details, and there's a lot, is coming up. We have some news to get to, including the big semi fall-down, go-boom accident near Orondo that tied up traffic and sent the driver to Harborview Medical Center, and apples all over the place. Those details are coming up, and we've heard now from the Kittitas County Sheriff's Department that missing hunter, that Seattle deputy fire chief who went hunting back on November 2nd, his body was located yesterday by search and rescue volunteers with the Kittitas County Sheriff's Department. We'll have that story as well. So there's a lot of news. There is a lot of sports. Seahawks got shut out for the first time in 10 years by the Green Bay Packers. Russell Wilson may be back, but the Seahawks still have issues. An incredibly busy weekend in prep sports is all but over, with another round coming up for the local football teams. Not so good, but the Schlang Goats win yet another State 1A Girls Volleyball Championship. We'll have that, and we'll have everything else that you need to start your day. We're going to replay the interview I did last week with Leslie Freytag and Travis Hornby of the Pybus Public Market. Travis is taking over Leslie's job here officially at the beginning of the year, but he's going to be tailing Leslie around to figure out what the job of general manager of the Pybus Public Market entails. It's a fascinating interview. You're going to like it. We'll have that for you again at the back half of the program. Whew. I think we're ready. We just have the one camera this morning to look at, and that's, well, that one, the cross camera. It's up, it's running, it's doing good. We understand there was a number of power outages related to the wind yesterday, not only in the Wenatchee Valley, but in other locations. And when we talked on Friday, they had wind in the forecast, and they had mild temperatures, but not the kind of wind actually they were expecting. It just was way windier than they thought, and much warmer. Again, 70 our high yesterday, and that's at Payne-Bohr. The thermometer I have outside my house had it at 73 at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday. Just unseasonably warm. Needless to say, all the snow in the upper elevations is gone, but the next band of snow is coming. There will be some snowfall in Stevens Pass coming up later on today, and tonight it's got a big cold front coming in. That's where we're going to have the windy conditions. We're still going to be very mild today. We could even set another record high temperature today, and things are going to change dramatically for the Wenatchee Valley. We have a couple of slides to show for you. Again, the wind advisory starts at 3 o'clock this afternoon. The deeper the red and the magenta, the stronger the winds. Look at you folks out in Moses Lake. These are wind gusts, not sustained winds. Now, even sustained winds are going to be pretty wild enough. 30, 35 miles an hour sustained winds. The arrows tell you the direction. But the wind gusts that pop up now and again, 60 to 65 miles an hour in the Moses Lake area. Spokane's going to be blustery down to the Tri-Cities. Here in the Wenatchee Valley, we could see the occasional gust at 40 to 45 miles an hour. Gustier still in Leavenworth, in the Lake Wenatchee area, up in Chelan. Everybody's going to be dealing with some significant wind as this big cold front begins to barrel in to the Pacific Northwest. Again, 45 to 60 mile an hour wind gusts, depending on where you live. If you drive a high-profile truck or a semi with no load, you're going to be blown all over the place this afternoon. Garbage cans will be flying. My guess is we could still see a few power outages as well. And then on top of all that, later on today and into tonight, snow in the mountain passes. Stevens Pass is going to get anywhere from 8 inches to a foot of snow at the summit of Stevens Pass. This is a cold front that's coming through, so we're going to have very mild temperatures for the Wenatchee Valley, but as the day progresses, we're going to get pretty chilly. In fact, we're going to have overnight lows by the middle to the end part of next week below freezing. We're just everywhere. We're all over the board. If you're traveling into Stevens Pass this afternoon and tonight, you are going to be dealing with some snow, especially tonight. Oh, man, are you kidding me? From the National Weather Service, here we go. If we get to 63, and I think we have a pretty good chance of it, that would be another record high. After hitting 70 on Sunday, 63 would be a record high for November 15th. But look at the temperature variation. 63 for the high today, 35 for the overnight low tonight. And again, very, very windy this afternoon. Very windy Tuesday morning before it finally dies out. Look how much colder we're going to get as this cold front comes roaring through. Will only be about 47 or 48 with some windy conditions on Tuesday. Tuesday night's overnight low 28. Can you believe this? From 70 degrees on Sunday to 28 for the overnight low Tuesday night into Wednesday. That is all over the board. And they're going to be well below normal with a high of only 40 under partly cloudy skies on Wednesday. Slightly warmer, chance of rain on Thursday. Friday, Saturday, warmer still, back down to normal conditions on Sunday. The normal high this time of the year is just about 44 or 45 degrees. Again, a wind advisory goes into effect from 3 o'clock this afternoon to 7 o'clock, although we're going to have windy conditions here in the Wenatchee Valley. The brunt of this storm is going to be really hammering winds out in the Columbia Basin. And a quick little heads up, tonight we mentioned about all the snow in Stevens Pass. The snow level tonight is going to drop all the way down to 1,500 feet. You folks in Lake Wenatchee, Plain, and Leavenworth, you could deal with some snow after record high temperatures on Sunday. Absolutely crazy. We don't have the pass cams up and running right now, so I'll give you the pass conditions verbally. They're brought to you by D.A. Davidson, the strength of a trusted partner, and personalized solutions to meet your financial needs. Go now. That's my advice. Stevens Pass right now, no advisories, no restrictions. Raining on Stevens Pass. Blewett, bare and dry. No advisories, no restrictions. I-90, no advisories, no restrictions. Bare and wet. Passes are going to deteriorate condition-wise as this Monday goes. It'll be rain in the morning, and then right now it's temperatures were the 40s in the mountain passes. By late this afternoon, the temperature is going to drop down below freezing. Stevens Pass today, 1 to 3 inches of snow. Tonight, an additional 8 inches to a foot of snow on Stevens Pass. Blewett is going to get snow. I-90 is going to get snow. So the deeper into the day we go, the passes, the conditions are going to get really bad. Heavy snow tonight on Stevens and on Snoqualmie. A couple of inches on Tuesday. More snow, off and on, hit and miss on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But tonight, especially on Stevens and Snoqualmie Pass, get ready for some bad driving conditions and wind on top of that. Wow, lots going on. 9 minutes after the hour, a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your news. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
Kids are resilient. I just love their energy. They bounce back so quickly. I love the stories they tell. I love just their charisma, their character. I love to see that subtle smile that you pull out of a kid, you know, when you start talking with them about something they really like. I just love what I do, and I can't imagine I would be as happy doing anything else.
Hi there, it's Les Schwab Tires, reminding you that changing seasons can mean changing road conditions. Introducing the brand new Backcountry AT2 for a quieter ride with improved performance in wet conditions. Because when it comes to keeping your family safe, the right tires help you feel prepared for anything. Seriously, anything. Now save up to $130 when you buy Quadtrac tires with financing. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Get ready for some big-time wind this afternoon, very similar to what we saw on Sunday afternoon. Sustained winds, 25 to 30 miles an hour, gusts at 50 miles an hour for the Wenatchee Valley, gusts at 60 miles an hour out in the Columbia Basin. They have a high wind warning. We are under a high wind watch here in the Wenatchee Valley. It's going to be a blustery Monday the 15th. We begin with this story. A semi-truck loaded with boxes of apples crashed on Friday night, 1/2 mile north of Orondo. It critically injured the driver and it delayed traffic both Friday evening and Saturday morning. According to Washington State Patrol Trooper John Bryant, the semi was traveling southbound on Highway 97 about 6 p.m. Friday when it was unable to negotiate a turn. The truck struck the southbound guardrail. It left the highway, went over an embankment, and came to rest in a dry creek bed. Rescue personnel from Douglas County Fire District 4 located the driver buried under boxes of apples. The driver, identified as 53-year-old Rafael Tapia of West Richland, was airlifted to Harborview Medical Center with critical injuries. Now, traffic was detoured for nearly 4 hours Friday night and then again for 2 hours Saturday morning while crews removed the debris. That's the scene from Saturday morning. The State Patrol says Tapia was driving too fast for conditions. Wenatchee police officers pulled a 36-year-old DUI suspect from his vehicle moments before it rolled into the Columbia River, this near the Otobashian Bridge, early on Friday morning. Sergeant Ryan Weatherman says the officers likely saved the man's life. Police were summoned at about 5:40 in the morning to Stimult Growers in Old Station about a suspicious vehicle on their property. The Escalade then drove along the river towards the bridge, where officers found it with its front wheels hanging off the embankment. Weatherman said officers had to struggle to remove the East Wenatchee man from the vehicle before it went into the water and sank. You can see the vehicle there circled in red. The man was transported to Central Washington Hospital for a medical check and then to the Schlang County Jail. He faces DUI charges along with possible charges of assault and resisting police. Recovery experts spent most of the rest of the day getting the Cadillac Escalade out of the Columbia River. The body of Seattle Deputy Fire Chief Jay Scheckengost was found Sunday afternoon in rural Kittitas County after a 2-week search. The 56-year-old Schreckengost had been missing since November 2nd after he told his family he was going elk hunting in the area. His body was located about a half mile from where his pickup was parked. Now, the cause of death will be released after an examination by the Kittitas County coroner, although the Kittitas County Sheriff's Office says evidence of foul play not evident. The supplies at Wenatchee's Lifehouse Christian Ministries food bank getting alarmingly low, and that's when General Manager Sean Arrington put out a call for help earlier this month, and help arrived in a big way on Wednesday, as Arrington explains.
It was getting incredibly low on food, being that so many people are needing food, especially canned goods and boxed goods. We ran out of those faster because we don't get those donated from the stores, and we rely upon the community for the support. We put an announcement out on social media, and we were immediately connected with Dyna Electric, which is out of Oregon, but they're doing the new data center for the Microsoft project up in East Wenatchee, and they, as well as Microsoft and Stettner Electric, all came together, pooled a bunch of resources, went shopping for us, and brought in 2 25-foot trailers full of food. Yeah, the need will continue to go. With the food that they brought in, we'll be able to continue to hand out food for probably about the next 2 or 3 weeks, but then we'll need help again. So the need for boxed goods, canned goods is something that continues to be necessary right now through the times that we're in. But anybody can either pick up something at the store, or they can go by and drop something off out of their cupboard, or if they can't do either of those, they can help out at WenatcheeLighthouse.org.
Congress's $1.2 billion infrastructure bill, now law, but there's an even bigger bill, a social spending bill that's coming up for a vote. It's called the Build Back Better bill, and it could very well come up for a vote later on this week. Jefferson Robbins spoke last week with 8th District Congresswoman Kim Schreier. Many of her initiatives were included in the huge infrastructure package, and she has high hopes for this week's bill.
This is a really big deal. You know, we talk about Infrastructure Week. We tried many times under the last administration to get everybody together and pass a good infrastructure bill, and it just didn't work. And now we have gotten Democrats and Republicans together, spearheaded by our president, to bring everybody together. And we got a great bill that has so many wins for Washington State and the 8th District, and everybody knows about roads and bridges. I think most people have heard about rural high-speed internet. People may not have heard about what's in there for water and wastewater, water conservation, and I have a bill called Legacy Roads and Trails that works on the roads in our national forests. There are also provisions for wildfire prevention that really matter here in Chelan.
The other half of that is the Build Back Better bill. One might not work as well without the other. Another $1.75 trillion to deal with things like historic amounts of funding for childcare, education, climate change initiatives. What are your assessments of that bill, and what do you think its chances are?
Well, first of all, I love how you framed it. That was the perfect way to explain it, that how do you do infrastructure and bring all of these jobs, these are blue-collar jobs or engineering jobs, I mean, a ton of jobs. How do you do that if you don't have a workforce that can fully engage? So how do we get women in particular back in the workplace? Well, we've got to have universal preschool. We've got to have affordable childcare. We have to have home health care for the elderly so that we can have everybody who wants to work be able to give their full to the jobs that will be available. And so this bill has things like I just talked about, universal pre-K, something I think we all understand is the way to get every child to meet their full potential, but also to get people back to work. And there's a big tax break for working middle-class families in that bill as well. So hopefully this will make life better all around. It is certainly the intention to help shift the benefits of our tax dollars to the people who are working the hardest.
But whenever we shift the benefits of tax dollars, there's always those who say it's too far, it's too much, and many of those people are in Congress and in the Senate. So what do you think overall the chances of this bill are of being passed by both houses and becoming law?
Well, I'll tell you, when you elect a record number of women to office, these become much more of a reality because we have all faced the crisis of childcare and elder care. And I feel very optimistic that we will get the vast majority of these provisions through. We've been working closely with the Senate to make sure that happens.
And now you're in the loop on what's making news on this Monday, the 15th day of November. Get ready for a windy afternoon. Crazy day yesterday. Man, I can't believe all the different weather we had yesterday. Grant Olson, speaking of weather, who handles the weather forecasting, is back from his well-deserved week off. That means Jefferson Robbins gets to go back to somewhat of a normal life, but we'll still have a newscast for you tonight at 5, 6, and 10. And with the preview, here's Jefferson.
Good morning, Dan. Here's our top story. Grant Olson is back here tonight in the anchor's chair, so I don't have to do this anymore. I know some of our viewers won't mind that at all. Also, by the time you see this, I may have been called up for jury duty, but that's a different story. You can expect Grant to give you the real scoop tonight on all the news, plus local weather, and don't forget sports with Eric Granstrom. It all happens this evening at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope you'll join us then.
Thank you, Jefferson. And don't forget, if you got a news tip, you want to drop us a note and just say hi, look at the bottom of your screen. Our Facebook page is a great way to go about doing it. Use the Messenger app. You can email us directly, news@ncwlife.com, or go to our homepage, ncwlife.com. You'll see the Contact Us icon. Click on it, and we'll get it here. We're pretty good about that. 19 minutes after the hour. Football. Let's see. Seahawks lose, Cougars lose, Huskies lose, Wildcats lose, Chiefs lose. We got a lot of football to talk about, hockey as well. It's a busy sports segment, and it's 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Badger Mountain Brewing is proud to announce the grand opening of our new kitchen. Come try out our new menu featuring fabulous steaks, prime rib, gourmet burgers, and seafood grilled up by experienced meat master Chef Galen Goodman. To complement your mouth-watering meal, Badger Mountain Brewing features 14 in-house crafted beers, an alcohol-free root beer infused with 11 different herbs and spices, 3 different ciders, and a great wine selection. Don't miss out on the best meats and the best brews down at Badger Mountain Brewing.
Located at 1 Orondo Avenue across the tracks from the Pybus Market.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the Diagnostic Doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units. "20 minutes after the hour in sports, for the first time since 2011, the Seahawks played an NFL game and didn't score a point. Shut out by Green Bay last night. The final was 17-0. The game marked the return of Russell Wilson after finger surgery. The 10-year veteran, didn't look very good. He passed for just 161 yards. He threw 2 interceptions. He was sacked 3 times. Wilson said he felt fine and he was ready to play.
My finger felt fine, the problem with tonight was I had two bad plays, That's what it really was. It felt like we were moving the ball pretty well. We had that really good drive down there. It's 3rd down and I think 8 or so, whatever it was. And, I tried to make a throw to DK, and guy made a good play. His back was turned. I was trying to get it to him. Done it before, for touchdowns. And he did a good job turning around, catching it. I think that the other one, he was trying to take a shot, to Tyler. But I felt confident. I didn't feel anything. I threw one high to Tyler there that, I was like, maybe I just try to, throw it a little too hard, just smooth throw it. But other than that, I felt confident in every throw, and, just confident in the game. It was the reality was the game was 3-0 all the way, till 4th quarter or whatever. And, we should have won that game. Our defense played great. Guys battled throughout the whole game between 2 really good teams. I got to play better, and that was on me. There was those 2 plays. That was really the game.
As Russell Wilson mentioned, Seattle held Green Bay to just 3 points until about 10 minutes left in the game. Seahawks coach Pete Carroll said, he thought the Seahawks were actually going to win.
Get a chance to beat this team here and all that. 10 minutes ago in the game, we're 3-0, and had given up a chance to get it knocked and tied up and all that, and played really hard and really tough. And defense kept us in the game all night long, and Russ tried to get a throw in the end zone there when we had a chance we had a field goal that we could take, and he tried to stick it in behind the guy and it just didn't quite fit. He made a mistake. He knows it. And then he chucked the other one just in desperation to try to see if we can get back in the game. And so he had a couple bad plays. I know you're wondering, was he ready and all that kind of stuff. He was ready to play. And there's nothing else, there's no other information leading into this could tell us any different. He was pumped and got after it and all that, and they did a nice job tonight. They're a good defense. We couldn't get enough going on to make the points we needed.
Casey turned off the game towards the end. Wide receiver DK Metcalf ejected for fighting towards the end of the game. He finished with 3 catches for 26 yards. Seattle dropped to 3-6 on the year. They return home Sunday to take on the Arizona Cardinals. All right, to the Les Schwab College football scoreboard. Anthony Brown threw for 135 yards and a touchdown, rushed for 123 yards and a score. Number 3, Oregon gets past the Cougars, 38-24 on Saturday. The Cougars dropped to 4-3 in conference play with the loss. Huskies squandered a 24-14 fourth quarter lead, lost to Arizona State at home in the rain on Saturday night, 35-30. Washington's defense gouged for 286 yards rushing, 184 of those by Rashad White. He scored the go-ahead touchdown with $1:11 remaining. And, of course, they're also looking for a new head football coach. Jimmy Lake fired as a head coach of the Huskies on Sunday afternoon. Eric Barriere returned to form to lead Eastern Washington to a 38-20 road win over UC Davis. The senior quarterback throwing for 411 yards and 3 touchdowns to help the Eagles improve to 8-2 on the year. And Central Washington's Quincy Glasper threw for 5 touchdowns, ran for 2 others. The Wildcats blowing out Simon Fraser 70-0 Saturday in Ellensburg. Next up for Central will be the playoffs Saturday at Northwest Missouri State. The Seattle Kraken lost his 10th game of the NHL season on Saturday night at home to Minnesota. The Wild jumped out to a 2-goal lead in the first 2 periods on a memorable night from rookie Rem Pitlick.
Now a foot race. Hartman in first for Minnesota. Out in front. They score! Rem Pitlick gets to it. That's his first goal in the National Hockey League. Seattle back out to center. McCann thwarted, broken up. Open ice. Pitlick. Partial breakaway. He's in. He scores! Over the line. His pass broken up by Ryan Hartman. Look out. It's a breakaway again. It's Pitlick for the 3rd time. He's got a hat trick. Rem Pitlick. with goals number 1, number 2, and 3 of his NHL career. Eberle stretches it out on Spurgeon. Here's Wenberg out in front. They score! Marcus Johansson on the boards. The puck is free. Foligno just wide. Sturm will get to it. There you go. Empty net goal. 5:06 left for Schwartz. Wenberg off the goalpost. No, it made it in just inside the pipe. So Minnesota gets back to their winning ways. They've won now 5 of their last 6.
The Kraken will host the Chicago Blackhawks Wednesday at Climate Pledge Arena. The Wenatchee Wild heading back to Canada this week. They lost twice at home over the weekend. They've lost in overtime Thursday to the West Kelowna Warriors, and they dropped another close one Friday. The final 4-3. Cade Littler, the lone bright spot for Wenatchee. He scored the first hat trick of his BCHL career. The Wild are at Nanaimo on Friday, Victoria on Saturday, and then Langley on Sunday. Then they return home next week to take on Salmon Arm. We have a state champion in our midst after a busy weekend of prep sports. The Schlang Goats won their second consecutive state 1A volleyball championship going back to 2019. Of course, there wasn't a tournament last year. They swept Linden Christian Saturday night at the Yakima Sundome. It's Chelan's third state title in school history. The team just up state round 50 took third at the state 2B tournament. Manson rallied after falling in the semifinals to beat Raymond in 3 sets. It was the Trojans' second highest ever finish at state after a second in 2007. Freytag heads to the state 2A volleyball tournament as a district champion. They beat Ellensburg Saturday 3-2. The Bulldogs came back to beat Prosser, by the way, in a last chance at state match. It will be a ridiculously early wake-up call for the Bulldogs Friday at the Sundome as Ellensburg will face White River in the first round at 7 a.m. Freytag's first match pits them against Anacortes at 8:45. You got to go back to 1983 to find the last time Wenatchee brought hardware back from the state volleyball tournament. That was the state championship, and it's one of just 3 volleyball trophies in the case for the Panthers. Marnie McMahon will try to add that this week when her team heads to the Yakima Valley on Friday. That's when the 6th-seeded Panthers will take on the 11th-seeded Mount Rainier team at 8:45 a.m. Now, the bracketing puts Wenatchee in a second-round game against either West Valley or Lake Stevens. Tahoma, by the way, took the state title in swimming and diving in Federal Way over the weekend. Moses Lake 7th, Eastmont 13th, Wenatchee 23rd. The Chiefs' 200 free relay team placed 3rd. Eastmont was 4th. It was a rough weekend for North Central Washington schools wearing cleats. Eastmont's season came to an end Friday at East Lake. The Wildcats just got crushed by the Eagles 50-0. Moses Lake, they also ran into a buzzsaw Friday night. They lost at Gonzaga Prep 56-14. Omak had its season come to an end at Meade High School, where the Pioneers fell to Lakeside at a 9-mile Falls 42-0. Brewster fought valiantly but came up just short at Columbia Burbank Friday 32-28. Columbia Burbank will head north this Friday to meet up with Okanagan in the quarterfinals at Leib-Off Field at the Apple Bowl at 7 o'clock. Waterville Mansfield came up short in the State 1B football playoffs on Saturday, lost to Nassau 68-12. Libertyville, the only football team in our region that was victorious over the weekend. They beat Cusick in Winthrop 52-20. The Lions will take Odessa in the quarterfinals Saturday at 3 o'clock at Lions Field in Moses Lake. And finally, the run of the State 1B, 2B girls soccer tournament also came to an end for Tenasket and Okanagan. On Saturday, the Tigers fell to Kalama 4-0. The Bulldogs lost to Adna in the Apple Bowl 3-1. And that is sports at 28 minutes, roughly, after the hour, give or take a couple. The obscure holiday of the day today. Today is National Clean Out Your Refrigerator Day. Yeah. The refrigerators, of course, were a game changer. My dad, all the way till the day he passed away, called the refrigerator the icebox. That might let you know how old my dad was. The first household refrigerator, by the way, was brought to you by General Electric. Yeah, and the idea wasn't necessarily to keep your food cold. The idea was for GE to sell electricity. GE also owned electrical plants, so they figured the more electrical appliances you had, the more electricity you would use, and the more money they would make. The first Frigidaire brand, also brought to you by General Electric. In fact, the brand Frigidaire became so popular that Americans called any refrigerator, regardless of who made it, a Frigidaire. Kind of came by default. The arrival of freezers large enough to make ice cubes was a real game changer. And so we celebrate National Clean Out Your Refrigerator Day. There's probably a science experiment or two growing in the back of your refrigerator. in the crisper drawer, or you go to the store and you buy food and you shove it into the fridge, and the food in the middle works their way to the back, and then even farther back, and then even farther back. And by the way, I looked this up. Obviously, in today's time, the average adult, single adult who shares a household with another single adult has risen 25%. Now, the number one cause of tension among roommates, young adult roommates, is the condition of the refrigerator. If you want to be a good roommate, clean out the refrigerator today, or a coworker. Just clean out your refrigerator. By the way, if you're going to really clean out your refrigerator, turn the refrigerator off, because it's going to constantly want to turn itself on again if you have the door open for quite a bit of time as you scrub and clean out your refrigerator today. I actually cleaned out my refrigerator yesterday. Some of the stuff I found. 31 minutes after the hour. Today in history, November 15th, 1864, 157 years ago today, Sherman's March to the Sea began. They left Atlanta and off to Savannah they go. Along the way, they wrecked about 300 miles of railroad, numerous bridges, miles of telegraph lines. Sherman's army seized 5,000 horses, 4,000 mules, about 13,000 heads of cattle. The idea was, we'll just sustain ourselves, Abe. We don't need supply lines. We'll just raid everything that comes. It was really a total war. The people in the South still really haven't forgiven William Tecumseh Sherman. By the way, Sherman's personal escort, the cavalry unit that would ride with Sherman wherever he went, was the Alabama Cavalry Regiment, 1st Division. It was a unit made up entirely of Southerners who remained loyal to the Union. Tecumseh's March to the Sea began on this date in 1864. They laid the cornerstone to the Jefferson Memorial on this date back in 1939, 82 years ago today. FDR did the job. It was FDR who got this thing built. The idea originally, they were going to build a memorial to Theodore Roosevelt, and they did all the planning, and then Congress didn't appropriate the money. And finally, in the mid-1930s, FDR, who was a huge fan of Thomas Jefferson, actually called up the Commissioner of Fine Arts and said, what can we do, what can I do to get a memorial built for Thomas Jefferson? And this time, Congress did appropriate the money. They laid the cornerstone on this date 82 years ago today. FDR doing the job because he wanted it done. This is the 52nd anniversary of the March Against Death. Remains to this day the largest single demonstration in this country's history in Washington, D.C. at the National Mall. 500,000 protesters marched to protest Nixon's policy against the Vietnam War. Of course, Nixon was elected in 1968 as the Peace with Honor candidate. And then as soon as he assumed the presidency in January of 1969, he actually escalated the Vietnam War, not de-escalated it. That didn't go too well with a lot of people. They demonstrated November 15th, 1969. And November 15th, 1979, 42 years ago today, American Airlines Flight 444, a Boeing 727 flying from O'Hare Airport in Chicago to Dulles International Airport in Washington, D.C., a bomb went off. It began smoking in the cargo hold. They didn't really know what was going on. They flew for quite a while until the smoke from the bomb began to fill up the cabin. And then the pilot said, ooh, we got a problem. They were able to land at Dulles International Airport in Washington, D.C. safely. After long investigation, they discovered that the bomb was planted by Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. If it had gone off correctly, it had enough explosive to have brought the plane down, but it malfunctioned on this date, 1979. Birthdays, we lost Ed Asner back in August at the age of 91. He was born in the state in 1929. He is the most awarded actor in the history of the Emmy Awards. He won 7 Emmy Awards, 5 of them playing the role of Lou Grant, both in the Mary Tyler Moore Show and in the show Lou Grant. 7 Emmy Awards, more than any other actor in Emmy history. Ed Asner, born in the state in 1929. Sam Waterston is 81 years old today, will always be known. He played Jack McCoy on Law & Order for 16 years. Sam Waterston, 81 years old today. Bob Gunton, you remember him? Warden Samuel Norton in the Shawshank Redemption. He also did a lot of other pretty good television and movie works. Bob Gunton is 76 years old today. And Beverly D'Angelo, probably best known as Ellen Griswold, in all the vacation movies. She's 70 years old today. She's also a country music performer and songwriter, and a talented one at that. Happy 70th to Beverly D'Angelo. Going to take a break. Got an opinion from Mike Mad Dog McNaughty. Then we're going to replay the interview I did last week because it's such a good interview with Leslie Freytag, the outgoing general manager of the Pybus Puppet Market, and Travis Hornby, the incoming general manager. That's coming up. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
For more than 56 years, Crown Furniture and Mattress has been serving North Central Washington with the same principles we were founded on, offering the best quality, great value, incredible comfort, honesty, integrity, and of course, made in the USA. Because so much of our inventory is made in America, it has alleviated a lot of the shortages companies are experiencing nationwide. We are overstocked and ready to deliver. So stop by and see us today or visit us online at www.crownfurnitureandmattress.com.
You know, I have different people in the community come up and tell me that they've seen our commercial. I took my family up to Yodelin, up in Leavenworth, and we walk in, and it's a Monday night, so Monday Night Football is playing, and all of a sudden, our commercial starts airing, and my kids couldn't believe it. They're like, "Dad, you are on Monday Night Football. This is unbelievable. You know, we know somebody famous." Like, my respect level just went way up in my kids' eyes.
We have, over the last year, realized how important Apple Blossom is, how important those Friday football games are, and being a part of that community and being able to support those activities happening is very important to us.
One of our real passions as a business is to serve our community well, and at the same time promote our brand. And I feel like NCW Life allows you to do that with some of the different opportunities that they give you. There's ways to help us build community while at the same time promoting your brand.
Hey, Ellie, what's troubling you?
No one cares about insulation.
Out of sight, out of mind, I guess.
But it's just so effective and inexpensive. It's one of the best ways to warm your home. Schlang's PUD $1 per square foot rebate can often pay for the cost of a DIY blow-in installation to an attic. So are you gonna check out the rebates at schlangpud.org/save today?
Yeah!
Can you help me down? Let's go to schlangpud.org/save today.
You're in Ford Country, land of Pat Armstrong, Ford Lincoln, home of the lifetime warranty. That'll sure get you thinking.
Get ready for fall and winter with a new or used truck or SUV from North Central Washington's four-wheel drive headquarters, Pat Armstrong Ford Lincoln, on 3rd Street in East Wenatchee.
Land of Pat Armstrong, Ford Lincoln, you're in Ford Country.
This holiday season, let Wild Birds Unlimited help you deliver something truly special to friends and loved ones. The gift of bird feeding. Even if you can't be together in person this year, a busy backyard bird feeder will bring a little smile and a little connection with you. We're here for you with safe, convenient shopping, whether it's in-store, at curbside, or when you order online. Wild Birds Unlimited. Joy delivered.
Who are you talking to? I told you, knock it off!
End the cycle. Call SAGE, Safety, Advocacy, Growth, and Empowerment. Get private, anonymous counseling. Learn how SAGE can help you. Receive legal assistance and protection. SAGE also offers a safe place for you and your children. Of course, a hug from Hank always helps. SAGE can help you move on with your life. Call SAGE today.
Hi folks, welcome to Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. You can lift this up to the lifetime warranty.
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
Ooh. You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, we have one of those Amazon Alexa things in our house, in the kitchen. We yell at her to play music. I like the blues. Rosie likes to play easy jazz and bossa nova. Oh, where she got that, I don't know. But we tell, we tell Alexa to puts stuff on our shopping list all the time. It's pretty cool. We say, Alexa, put, I don't know, eggs on the shopping list, and she does, okay? It's pretty cool, actually. But when my son Tony was home visiting this summer, he put his hat over the Alexa device, and he told us that he didn't believe we'd have one of those things in our house. When I asked him why, he said, this thing was just letting Jeff Bezos and Homeland Security listen into our private conversations. Well, I told him, look, if Jeff Bezos and the government really wants to listen to Rosie and I arguing about who's going to do the dishes or what kind of pizza we're going to order, they are more than welcome. This is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and that's my opinion.
Things have changed in the motorsports industry. Short supply and high demand have emptied showrooms. But what hasn't changed are the experts at Doghouse Motorsports. They are here to help you reserve the machine of your choice. Stop by and check out the latest 2022 Husqvarna motorcycles, Ubco, and Intense electric vehicles, and other new additions to the Doghouse Motorsports family of high-quality products.
Over the last year and a half, the industry's absolutely changed, but the Doghouse is still your best option for all your power sports needs.
Opioids are now one of the leading causes of injury-related deaths in Washington state. More people die from overdose than from car crashes. Between 2012 and 2016, more than 3,300 lives in Washington were lost to opioid overdose. We are all part of the solution. Your choices matter. If you are prescribed an opioid pain medication, talk with your doctor about other options, and don't share your prescriptions with other people. It starts with you. Learn more at getthefaxrx.com.
When it comes to finding a memory care community, you want the very best. You want to know that your loved one is safe and receiving compassionate care in a loving environment. Fieldstone Memory Care is an innovative assisted living community designed for those with Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's disease. You'll find a community specifically designed to enrich residents' lives. The Fieldstone team is here to help you navigate the important decisions you face when a loved one has dementia or Alzheimer's. Welcome home to Fieldstone.
Are you frustrated because you feel like you aren't getting the internet speeds you pay for? One of the most common ways to test your internet connection is called a speed test. These are free and easily located on the internet and can tell you how fast your internet is. However, for certain reasons, these tests may not always be accurate. A speed test shows you how fast a file can be downloaded to the computer you're running the test on. However, there are many things that can affect the speed of that download besides the speed of the internet going into your home. A few of the things that can affect your internet speed are poor Wi-Fi signal, other wireless signals interfering with the wireless signals coming from your router, other devices in your home draining your bandwidth, your computer or phone running apps programs in the background that you aren't aware of, slowing your entire device. Any of these things can slow down your internet. Your internet is like water flowing down a pipe. There's a big pipe bringing internet to your local area, and a smaller pipe coming off of that bringing internet to your home address. Your router is just another pipe that brings the internet inside your house, and every device inside your home is like a pipe connected to the router. Just like with water, if any of those pipes along the way are too small for the amount of internet that needs to flow through for a family, the flow for everything down the line will be much slower. It's a lot like trying to push all the water going into your house through a small straw. Also, again, just like with water, if everyone in your home is using the internet at once, any individual device may not be able to receive the full flow of the internet. It's like your whole family trying to drink out of that small straw all at once. If you're struggling with internet that is slower than expected, make sure that all of the devices that your internet flows through are working correctly, and check all devices in your home for background programs that may be using the internet. If everything still appears to be working correctly, contact us and we'll be able to help.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We're here at the mezzanine at South at the Pybus Public Market, a place that we have enjoyed doing all of these interviews in many, many years past until COVID came. But we're back here at South, and a very special edition of our weekly update with our friends at the Pybus Public Market. The lovely and talented Leslie Freytag, to my far, far left, is finally retiring. She finally got to the age of 50 and said, I'm going to retire. And the board had some serious shoes to fill. Leslie took over from Steve, who helped launch the thing. Leslie did a great job keeping that link in the chain going together through some very difficult times. And now Travis Hornby will be taking over the reins on March 15th on November 15th as the guy running the day-to-day operations of the Pybus. Leslie and Travis, thanks for joining us.
Great to see you, Dan.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's great to have you. This is you're already into the transition period. You take over full-time on the 15th, right?
I'll be in training with Leslie. She'll be helping me out for about a month and a half.
About a month.
Yeah, about a month.
Until he gets we'll take his training wheels off.
A little background, I know Travis because he's a Wenatchee City Councilman who did not have to run for re-election this year, so position number 4, he's safe for another couple of years. Introduce yourself to our television family for those folks who aren't familiar with you.
Travis Hornby, I've been here for about 13 years now. So my wife's a pediatrician at CVCH currently, and recently stepped down from being the president of Evergreen Mountain Bike Alliance. And before that, before 2020, I was an co-owner of Blue Palm Frozen Yogurt in Moses Lake. I ran that for a little over 7 years. And then, so was running construction for a while, and now this position came available, and I applied and went through the gauntlet of Leslie and her crew, and came out the other side with not too many bruises. So.
No, we are delighted to have Travis join us.
The vetting process, when you landed this job, was there at a certain point where you thought to yourself, honey, I think I got it. I think I did good. I think I nailed the interview. I think the board likes me. Was there at what point did the epiphany come to say, I think I got a new gig?
I always second guess myself, just because I think I can always do better. It's an improvement thing for me. And so I didn't know for sure, but during the one-on-one face-to-face interview, I thought I connected with the board well. I thought they appreciated my answers, and I thought there was a good match. I like the job because it fits well with things that I've been doing in the community, things that I've been doing in small business, and so I was excited about it, but you always have that little bit of doubt. So.
And Leslie, you played a role in the picker of your successor.
Yes, I did. We did have the board formed a 5-person search committee. Ron Burschauer, our president-elect, led the effort. And we looked at over 30 applications, or resumes were sent in. We went through a whole series of first round of interviews and finalists, and we were just delighted that Travis applied. He'll be a terrific next general manager / foundation director for Pybus, and he brings so much with his business acumen, his past experience, his nonprofit work, in addition to his construction background, because we're always fixing something here.
What was your first piece of advice to Travis when they offered him the job and he accepted it? What was your first piece of advice for Travis?
I would listen. Just spend the first few months here listening and getting to know everyone in the market. We have a wonderful, wonderful family of tenants, our farmers market members, the artisans. There's a great group of people who earn a living from being here at the market. And I think it's important for any new person to come in is take the time to get to know them all and hear their stories. There's wonderful stories to learn. And then you'll be thinking about the things you can do to help.
Do you think your background in small business played a significant role in landing this job? Because this is basically a whole bunch of small businesses, people trying to cobble together a living.
I think it was critical, yeah. Understanding how to run payroll, understanding what these tenants are going through, having staff that rely on your business being successful and supporting their families as well. I took on it was very important for me. My employees wanted to get paid. I wanted to pay them. They did a great job, and so I completely understand that from a small business perspective. And what they went through in the last almost 2 years now, it's astounding that a lot of these businesses are still here.
And I think a lot of that credit goes to, first of all, for the businesses for stick-to-itiveness, and that includes South right here. But I think Leslie's leadership had a lot to do with that as well. It would have been a lot easier just to board her up and say, we'll see you when the pandemic ends, but no, she was there.
Well, we worked really hard with all the tenants in the board to find ways that we could keep the businesses open, even though we were, the first month we were definitely shut down, but then we started doing things out of the back doors because we were food and essential businesses, working with the health department last May to be able to open up as an open air market. So the board and our staff and the tenants looked constantly for ways that we could at least generate revenue.
And now here we are in about a month, you're going to be full again.
We are Hellbent. The tap room by Hellbent Brewing is getting ready to open. They're busy sheetrocking today, and they'll be opening in the first or second week of December. Few supply chain issues.
Understandable. And the Huck at the Pybus by the folks from the Wild Huckleberry been open for a couple of weeks. I've heard
It's
nothing.
been almost a month and just doing gangbuster business. And we're seeing just more people coming into the market, people we haven't seen before. So
You're going to be working some pretty odd hours and some pretty long hours. Is that your wife okay with that?
I'm used to working long and odd hours, so
Okay.
that isn't a problem for me.
Okay.
So.
Travis and Leslie, first of all, I'm looking forward to visiting with Travis on a regular basis, but just from a personal standpoint, Leslie, thanks for taking care of us at the NCW Life channel and the Kuntz family for some of the things that you've done for us over the years. Always a joy to work with.
Oh, you've been a
Always
joy
to work
as
with.
well.
What are your plans in retirement? I know you're going to travel. I know you got family in the
I
Bay Area.
have a 15-month-old granddaughter in the Bay Area, so I'll be spending a lot of time visiting my family. I want to do some travel. I've been planning all my life to do a lot more international travel, so I'm hoping things will begin to open up, especially through Southeast Asia, and enjoying life. But you'll find me here. I'll look to volunteer and help the ambassadors and that sort of thing.
Bit of a change in title. Travis is now going to be the general manager.
Yes.
And also running the day-to-day operations of the foundation as well. So talk about that just real quick.
So that was part of the work I was focused on for the last 2 years, of really looking what does it take to run the market, how do we staff, what are the roles, how do we do it all. And from that came, it's really not an executive director's role. We're managing a business. And so it became the general manager, and then we also, because we're still small, we have a nonprofit. We do depend on fundraising to do our capital improvements. We just announced plans for a big west side renovation. So all of those efforts require fundraising and donor development and that sort of thing. So that's how the name evolved, the title evolved.
You're inheriting a very good staff. I know. I've worked with them.
Yeah.
So that transition is going, I'm assuming, seamlessly.
Yes, well, it will. They'll start on Monday with Travis, and they're looking forward to working with him. We've had a chance to visit. Yep. Actually, we met up at South.
You might want to, first thing I would do is learn how the iPad audio-video system in the local television center works, because Leslie never could figure that one out.
I will get an education.
And it won't be for me. Electronics were never my best at.
It's good news about the west side parking lot. That's about the only thing that really wasn't touched when Pybus opened.
Yes.
They kind of just left it there. It's just a big concrete slab, but you're going to be fixing that.
Yes, we'll be announcing plans on how that's all going. We introduced it at our Taste of Pybus event last month, and we'll be starting to talk to the community as we go into next year. But it's a very exciting project. Most importantly, to get the parking lot regraded and resurfaced for everyone that uses it.
November at Pybus while I'm here. Let's go ahead and kill two birds with one stone.
Yes, we've got a busy month ahead of us. We're finishing up Pybus University every Tuesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. We have our holiday fair is returning with a vengeance. It is going to be all over the property, and a 2-day event, November 20th and 21st. We have over 75 vendors, and the Pybus Market has partnered with the Wenatchee Valley Farmers Market and Shea Sepueda, and we'll have artisans all over in the concourse, in our event center, all around the grounds. So it should be an exciting event. Not only will you get to shop, we have musical performances and crafts and fun things for the kids to do.
Leslie, Travis, congratulations on the new job, and I'm looking forward to visiting with you on a regular basis. This is a high-profile position, but I got a vibe that you're going to tackle this without any problems at all.
I'm excited to be here and look forward to the opportunity. Yep.
Travis, Leslie, don't be a stranger. Anytime you want to come by.
I won't.
Okay.
I won't. Well, you'll find me in the afternoons, working my way down the west side of the concourse.
And we'll see you, say, early December there, Travis?
Sounds great.
All right, looking forward to it. The outgoing executive director of the Pybus Puppet Market and the incoming general manager of the Pybus Puppet Market, Leslie and Travis, thanks for joining me. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, Fletcher and Amy Ellington here from Live It Up. In the investment world, ROI stands for Return on Investment. Well, how does better health, better wealth, and better relationships sound for ROI? Join us every week right here on NCW Life and learn how to invest in the most important asset, you.
We're going to answer your questions and provide some weekly inspiration so you can create a life that you love. Join us on Live It Up.
ColorFX has moved their shop to a larger location to expand their services, including adding in a state-of-the-art large format printer. They got it. You need banners? They got them. You need vinyl decals for your cars, trucks, vans, or trailers in just about any size? Yeah, they got it. ColorFX has also been providing fun swag and clothing for local churches and high schools around our valley for decades. Support your local print shop. Call ColorFX in Cashmere today.
Green Motion e-bikes have rolled into Wenatchee. We've got fun, affordable e-bikes for the whole family. Portable e-bikes that fit right in the trunk of your car. Fat tire mountain bikes plus unique vintage style bikes you won't find anywhere else. Get some exercise with pedal assist or just cruise up to 20 miles per hour with the throttle. Starting under $1,000, Green Motion e-bikes are affordable fun for the whole family.
And we are back on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on what's been an interesting Monday, and we're in for another interesting day from Mother Nature. Boy, do we have it all over the weekend. We had a record rainfall on Friday, and then we had more rain overnight into Saturday, heavy rain at times, and then we had very dense, thick fog on Sunday morning. Then it burned off, and then here came the wind. We hit 70 degrees for the afternoon high as measured up at Payne-Bohr Memorial Airport. 70 was our high on Sunday. It blew past the old record of 61 degrees. So it's one thing to just nudge past a record high. It's another thing to blow past a record high by 9 degrees. And the overnight low yesterday was 36. We went from 36 to 70 on Sunday. And you know what? We're not done with the wind yet, especially late this afternoon into the early evening hours right around sunset. We do have a wind advisory for the Wenatchee Valley. Now farther to the east, it's a wind warning. Advisory means it's going to be windy, but it's not going to be as bad as it is going to be out in the Columbia Basin. Look at that dark red and the magenta color. Holy moly. It's going to be howling out in the Palouse. It's going to be howling big time in Moses Lake, in Ritzville, in Freytag, on out to Quincy. We're going to have windy conditions here in the Wenatchee Valley, but not as windy as out in the Columbia Basin. These are wind gusts, not sustained winds, but wind gusts. Out in the Columbia Basin between 45 and 60 miles an hour. Here in the Wenatchee Valley, sustained winds 20 to 30 miles an hour, but we could see the occasional rogue gust at 50 or more. We had a wind gust at 50 miles an hour yesterday at 1:30. Now, this wind event is going to come a little bit later on in the day. You'll notice the wind will be picking up in intensity about 2:30 or 3. Right about sunset or so, right around 4:30 or 5, the winds will be howling for the north central Washington area. And on top of that, snow. Yeah, this is a cold front that's coming in. So we are going to be very mild today, could even set a record high. But look, the snowfall is going to be coming in overnight tonight on Stevens Pass. 8 to 12 inches of snow on Stevens Pass. Right now it's 43 degrees on Stevens Pass. It's going to drop down below freezing by the end of the day today, and they're going to get heavy snow on Stevens Pass and the other major mountain passes tonight, upwards of a foot of new snow overnight tonight into Tuesday morning. It is a weather roller coaster. Our high today, 63 forecast high. That would be a record high. It would tie the record if we get to 63, and we're well on our way to that. And again, a lot of wind this afternoon into the early evening hours. We drop down to 35 for the overnight low. A lot cooler on Tuesday as this cold front really makes its presence felt. We're only going to get up to 47 degrees, which is much closer to normal. 28 for the overnight low. Huge temperature variation from what we've been having. Below normal with a chance of rain mixed with snow at times on Wednesday and Thursday. Back to November weather on Friday and Saturday. That's it for us. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.